Hey parents, before we start this episode, remember that your family can enjoy hundreds of fun and educational free videos like this one for kids of all ages. Be sure to subscribe to get all the new shows and updates at PragerUkids.com. Welcome to Otto's Tales. I'm Jill, and today I'm sharing a story based on a parable from the Bible. Hi, Otto. Yes, buddy, you have a question? Very good, Otto. A parable is a short story that teaches a life lesson. I'm impressed you remembered that. Good job. Our story today has a wonderful lesson to remember. You ready for it? Let's read The Wise and Foolish Servants. Once upon a time, a very long time ago, there was a master of a most magnificent house with more wealth and riches than anyone around him. He was famous where he lived, and everyone admired him as a leader. One morning, this master was preparing to go on a long trip far away, where he would be crowned king of a distant land. "Come," the master called to 3 of his servants. He expected much from his workers, but was always kind and fair to them. "It is time for me to depart, but before I go, I will entrust each of you with valuables of great importance for you to manage while I am gone." He handed 5 large pouches to the first servant, 2 pouches to the second servant, and 1 pouch to the third servant. At once, the 3 servants opened the bags their master had given them. "Gold!" the first one cried. "Lots of gold!" The second one was equally astonished. The third servant, with his 1 pouch of gold, lifted his head. He asked, almost fearfully, "Master, what shall we do with this most generous surprise?" He had never held that much gold in his hands before, even though it was the least amount of gold compared to his fellow workers. The master smiled. "It is not my place to instruct you what to do with it or how to handle it," the master replied. "I only ask that you take good care of these gifts and steward them in a way that will please me upon my return." The servants nodded, and the master went on his way to be crowned king. The first servant wasted no time with the 5 bags he'd been trusted with. After all, he had received the most gold and wanted to prove to his master that he was worthy of such responsibility. "How might I make this turn into more?" After some thought and planning, he invested his share into this and that around town and soon doubled his master's gift, 10 pouches of gold. He was pleased with his hard work. The second servant was inspired by how the first servant handled his share. He got to work and earned 2 more bags of gold. "Surely my master will be happy that I doubled my gifts as well," the second servant rejoiced. The third servant, with his 1 bag of gold, did not take the same approach as his friends. "What if I invest the money but do not earn anything back?" He feared his master's judgment. He did not want to lose the gold and disappoint him. "I know," the servant thought. "I'll bury my share into the ground to keep it safe." Doing nothing was surely better than putting in effort for something that might not work according to plan. Several weeks later, the master returned and called the servants. "Tell me, how did you manage the gifts I entrusted to you?" The first servant, who was given 5 bags of gold, came forward with 5 more bags and said, "Master, you gave me 5 bags filled with gold, and I have earned 5 more." The master was full of praise. "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You wisely handled your responsibility well, so now I will give you more responsibilities. Let's celebrate." Then the next servant shared how he doubled his gold as well. The master said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You wisely handled your responsibility well. So now I will give you more responsibilities. Let's celebrate." Finally, the third servant stepped forward. "Master, I was uncertain what to do with my share of gold. I was afraid I would lose your money, so I hid it in the earth. Look, here's your money back." And he dropped the single pouch of gold into his master's hands. The master fell silent, and he shook his head. His eyes then flared, and he replied, "You foolish servant! If you didn't want to work to create more of the gift I trusted you with, why didn't you deposit it into the bank so we could at least earn a little bit of interest with it?" Then the master ordered to the others, "Take the money from this servant and give it to the one with 10 bags of gold. Those who put gifts they are given to good use will be given even more and will have abundance. But for those who do nothing, what little they have will be taken away." And the foolish servant who did nothing was cast out into the darkness, never to be seen again. The end. You know, this is one of my favorites. In the Bible, this story is known as the parable of the talents. In Bible times, a talent was a way to measure gold or silver. And the gold in this story isn't just money, it also represents gifts that God trusts us with and how we are responsible to do something good with them. Now, these could be God-given abilities or talents we have, or even opportunities and jobs. And it's our job to help our community, our country, and to glorify God by doing good work. That's worth more than gold. Gold! I had a feeling you were listening to this story, Otto. Thank you for watching Otto's Tales. Check out some of our other stories too. Keep reading, keep watching, and keep making the most of your gifts and talents. Bye. Good job, buddy. Thank you for watching. You know we've got more episodes, right? Watch the whole series on our website. And parents, you can subscribe at PragerUkids.com.